Very good afternoon, all of you. But first of all, welcome to Karnataka, and whosoever's traveling from outside, warm welcome on behalf of Government of Karnataka and the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission. Uh, and if you all are Karnatakas by any chance, then clap for Karnataka as well. Thank you. Uh, a Healthcare Innovation Summit and a Healthcare Innovation Awards. That means that you're talking about innovation in the healthcare using a technology, looking at what's been there in this ecosystem right now. Just to give you statistics before I jump onto the healthcare. Uh, Bangalore is called as the Silicon Valley of India. Fair point. Out of 80,000, 90,000 startups that this country has, around 25,000 startups are in Karnataka alone. Out of recent 108 or 9, 107 unicorns that has been born, around 47 unicorns are born from Karnataka alone. Out of $165 billion that the country's startup ecosystem has raised so far, ladies and gentlemen, Karnataka has raised $65+ billion out of 165 alone. If we look at the startup ecosystem, it's not limited to Bangalore, it's going beyond. And so we have these emerging hubs called Mysuru, Bengaluru, and as well as Hubli, Belgaum, and Dharwad as well, and flourishing very well. Just to let you know, the AI hub is in Bangalore. Yes, the largest workforce on AI is available here. Second largest in the world. You will be amazed to know that around 3,000 plus AI talent is available in my one emerging hub called Hubli alone. And we are serving, some 6 companies are serving the US clients on purely in AI. So you are on the land of innovation and the fertile. One more statistics for you as part of introducing you to the Karnataka ecosystem. Fortune 500 companies, out of Fortune 500 companies, 400 have their R&D and innovation center in Bangalore. So you are on a very most fertile, most innovative place in India. And second one, we are called as the number 20 rank in the world from a Bangalore city perspective. And there's no other city in India which is as close to that. We are aiming to become top 5. And if I just look at the way this is being laid down and now focus on the healthcare side, yes, healthcare has been seeing a very tremendous change in terms of technology adoption. And when you see the technological adoptions, it is not pertaining to one telemedicine, which was there long time back and started working on. Now it has reached to basically looking at mental health care. It is looking at the genomics. It has reached to various forums of the tech in the healthcare domain. Some estimated done in terms of the market size of the healthcare, somewhere around $400 billion. Out of which the digital health, which is on a tech part of the digital part, is somewhere around $40 billion. So the size of the market, it's so big enough in terms of opportunity for the healthcare innovation. If you look into why this is so fertile as a healthcare domain, I think the primary reason which I feel is because of 900 million population which has been onto the smartphones. And that has created a very different domain of demand of the services and maybe a platforms to provide those services as well. This number is going to 1.1 billion mobile phone users, smartphone users. And if that goes further, the opportunity looks very big. In fact, some of these startups has gone into somewhere around 250 million population as in total audience to serve in India. 250 million out of 1.2 billion. Imagine the gap which is still available through address in terms of the market sizing. Over and above this, your internet cost, the cost of productions and services is gone down. The data cost has gone down. So A, you have a 750 million audience available to be addressed. B, you have those cost of the parameters on which the services can be laid down is reducing. I think it's a very huge potential for innovation in healthcare alone. And that's a justification that I'm trying to put together with some of these facts. And if in my $165 billion that has been raised so far on the startup ecosystem, in my calculations, somewhere around $6 to $6.5 billion has been raised out of only healthcare startups, out of $165 billion. And roughly around 800 startups has raised this level of funding. Today in country, we have somewhere around 11,000 startups on healthcare. And we in Karnataka is somewhere around 1,700 or 1,800 plus. So roughly 15 to 20% of the startups in healthcare of the India are actually from none other place than Karnataka, in Bangalore. When we see these startups growing up, and look at the unicorns, out of, I think, 135 unicorns in healthcare globally, there are 5 in India. And some of them are here from here as well. So that means the rise of these startups to the ecosystem is going to be big enough to look at an opportunity. But that's not sufficient. Another metrics to position about the healthcare innovation, in last year itself, 16 healthcare-focused venture funds which has been developed. Last year, 2023. 16 VC fund focusing on only on the healthcare came up. And this shows that how much interest is there from the VC community towards looking at the healthcare domain. Healthcare is the 4th largest sector, has raised the funding out of all the 4 sectors that the space technologies or defense and aerospace, retail. Healthcare is the 4th largest sector to raise the funds. And in fact, a survey was done by Economic Times, so looking at around 100 startups, just to understand what they're doing. The types of startups which are working on, around 20% of the startups today operate on AI technologies in the healthcare of any kind. And this 20% is going to be 40% in just 1.5 year period of time. Because the most startups are looking at using the AI and generative AI in terms of coming out their value additions of product and services. What Karnataka is also doing very differently is trying to put together very different type of ecosystem in entire domain of healthcare. First, a center of excellence on IoT in partnership with NESCOM. And the model on which work is 3 ways. One, to look at the discover, to look at the design, and look at the scale. In the discover, what we do is collaborate with the industry and go out with a problem statement to find out who can provide a thought process of an idea. And from their idea, the design scale starts in terms of picking up those, working with the government and the industry, finding out the design of a solution. And the third one is scale. Once your design is ready, can we do a pilot? And government is very eager to do a pilot on that. So that itself is becoming a big, huge. In fact, India's largest, I would say, platform on healthcare is operated by this center of excellence here from Bangalore on healthcare domain. So if anybody on your system or known to you looking forward for a healthcare platform where you can avail some of these things, you're most welcome to avail that. The second piece which is there also coming at house is that a lot of technology which is there can be accessed to. The mentorship can be accessed to. And in fact, linked to the seed funding and etc. Just to let you know, and I'm maybe a little bit more aggressive towards my own state, Karnataka, is that Karnataka runs the India's largest grant funding to the startup. That means a startup which is from idea can convert that idea to POC. A grants, not equity, no debt, a grant. Up to rupees 50 lakh is available for the startups. The program called as Elevate program, under which up to 50 lakhs is given to convert from idea to POC perspective. Till date, roughly around 700 startups has got this funding, and roughly around 165 crores has been given as a grant so far. Imagine the India's largest grant-based funding for these startups, and some of them has become very high. If you feel that we are doing good, appreciate it, motivate the people like us to do more on this part. So if you feel so. Okay. This is where we want to also make available to the other larger ecosystem players. In fact, in the partnership with ISC, we've set up another center of excellence called as, InSensi, which is more towards the life sciences and nanotechnology. If by any chance any one of you have visited or not visited, plan to visit, you will be amazed to see some of the fantastic work happening on healthcare domain, especially looking at the various pieces of nanotechnology in the healthcare. Amazing product has been developed. You will find the upcoming of the nanotechnology in the healthcare domain is born and brought up at ISC campus of Center of Excellence. It's funded by the government. Not only this, if you pick up another India's largest AI-based park called Art Park, ARTPRK. It is India's largest. And of which what is happening is on the public health side, what is funded is design and database system, public healthcare systems. For example, the dengue dashboard, which was created by the Art Park, one of the startups, today is serving around 80 million population of the country. It just started a couple of years back. These are the various examples on the startup ecosystem from the Karnataka, which is doing a great work. Not only this, in fact, in the biotechnology as well, if you look at the Bangalore Biocluster, Bangalore Helix Biotechnology Park, Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms, then you look at the Bangalore Bio Innovation Centers. Many of these examples are creating a lot of examples on genomics and others. And in fact, that's an upcoming area for us. We're also looking at creating an anti-venom research center in Bengaluru, Advanced Biotech Innovation Center, Ecomarine in Bangalore, looking at Bangalore Life Science Park itself, only for biosciences and life sciences. Biofoundry in Bangalore, Helix Foundry Art Park as well. So all these are infrastructure which is getting supported by the government to create an environment, an ecosystem for the startups to leverage that. This is only for the mentorship, this is only for the funding, this is the test and technologies are available, and you can use that. In fact, my first statement started talking about of AI and generative AI. Dear friends, this is gonna change the way that we think around. I don't know how many of you, in fact, I am not fully able to understand the possibilities of the generative AI. I am not able to understand still. I'm learning. I don't know how many of you are able to understand what all the generative AI can do. Some of the examples of the generative AI has clearly laid down a very important parameters. For example, overall efficiency of a healthcare delivery system. Your AI and generative AI are helping to increase that. Roughly 25 to 30% efficiency is gonna overall increase by just intervention of one technology called AI. Looking at the other medium like virtual nursing assistant. You can talk, you can discuss, you can share, you can get your pills to be taken up at that time, yes or no, not done, what happening to this, reminders, all these are now becoming like your nursing assistant to you. These are very smaller examples I'm telling. There are very higher level examples which are there in the generative AI as well. Are we ready for this? Are we looking at using the generative AI and the AI in terms of the potential in the healthcare innovation ecosystem? We were doing some study to understand that whether the generative AIs or AIs really will have some meaningful or not. And to my surprise, the first example which came up is insurance providers. Overall, Asia Pacific wise, can you imagine the statistics? 40% of insurance providers are going to be converted as service providers by using AI, generative AI. The gear is changing. The shifting is happening done. Today, almost 60% of the healthcare institutions are going to use the cloud technologies to sustain their operations. And the cloud will include data analytics, and over and above, it includes AI. So imagine the way the Asia Pacific region is changing from an insurers to a providers, from a mere understanding of the hardware technologies towards the cloud technologies, and using all those into part. The challenging point comes is on the cybersecurity. The challenging comes on the data privacy. And I think we have getting into a regulation by the National Health Authority, which has come forward and trying to put up the framework across in terms of those regulations as well. What I'm trying to convey to all of you here today is that if any system needs to be now looked at, we cannot undermine the potential of technologies like cloud, data analytics, AI, and generative AI. In genomics, to biotechnology, to life sciences, to medtech, to healthcare services. You pick up any of these domains, you will find these are the upcoming areas. My last pitch to all of you is, if you are in healthcare and if you're using generative AI or in AI or data analytics, there's no other place in India other than Bangalore to come and start your thinking around it. There's no other place. And as far as the Karnataka is concerned, we provide the ecosystem. One of my colleagues in the Thai global organizations, they're talking to me and saying why Karnataka is such a great, so to say, the Silicon Valley of India. And my answer was, it's not something which has been done like this in the last 2 years or 5 years. It has been done more than 75, 80 years back. And that's the Maharaja of Mysore who started a very different journey altogether in Karnataka state, the princely state of Mysore. And from there, it's changed the color completely. So if somebody wants to replicate They have to move much, much faster onto this. And we are looking at creating a next level of growth engine for us. So last point from my side is, one again, if you are in healthcare, in innovation, using all these emerging technologies, there's no other place than Karnataka for you, and we welcome you. That's one statement to you. Welcome to you. The second point, which is also important, is that if you're here, when 4 VCs have shifted from NCR region to set up their headquarter office in Bangalore in last 1 year, they thought it's not the right place. This is the right place for them to be here. That's perfectly fine. What's happening around is that the industry ecosystem and the government ecosystem goes hands in hand. That means sometimes what we see is the government sits on the co-driver's seat, and the driver's seat is given to the industry. That means industry designs the policies, industry designs the execution method, industry designs the partnership on which how we can run it, and governments enable that together. This is the role that we have understood for us. This is a role that we are working with industry people around you. In this journey, if you become the part of industry collaboration with us, we're the most happiest person. All the best for the show, for the awards, and thank you so much for giving me time.